Now let's try that again without mute on. Hello, hello. Right, so going back to this guy, who I really messed up. Excuse the noise from the magic mixer. But yeah, made him a bit of a bodge of this because I didn't have my magnifying glass and other bits out, and it just didn't go so well. So we're going to go back over a few bits today, and hopefully bodge it up a little less. That's the plan. I'm just going to go over a skin first, which I know was a mixture of lime and intermediate green. I shall see if I can paint less slowly today. I mean, I don't have as much to paint today, so I can get on to shade work, but yeah, the fact that we had basically just the base coat on and I had no visibility on what I was doing didn't go so well. Let's see if Dragon's in today, because should be painting with him, really. Is Dragon on stream? Dragon, if not on stream. Okay, cool. Just me. Solo duty again. It's a hard life. Okay. So, you can see, didn't cover the eyebrows on him last time. It wasn't deliberate, but it doesn't really matter. And I can see I missed a bit here. And that I'm going to colour white around there, or look at an off-white. Could do different colours, but hey. Let's see what we come up with. Just going over, this is a slightly darker colour than what we were using last time. Maybe a little bit more water on that. A cool bit stripy. I do have my magnifier on, so I might be a little slow at replying to messages. I will check chat though. See this green I'm using slightly darker than the mix I was using last time, and again this is somewhat deliberate. So we can get under his chin. You can see here, just clipped his skin last time. There we go. Nice. It's amazing how much better it is when you can see. I did see a video the other day, someone asking if a magnifier was cheating. No, I mean, a glass is cheating? No. Use the tools that help you best to do a job. I happen to use a magnifier. Cool. Just sloshed over some green there. That will dry up nicely. Hands aren't too bad. I can see we've got a little bit of detail there that we've gone over with the brown. So we go over that. And his skin's a bit blotchy there. We'll just go up to the cuffs. There we go. Not too bad considering. They're just trying to get some uniform colour on him. Sorry if the camera gets blurry at times. I was trying to use my rather fancy camera, and the computer said no. So using the cheap one again. Hopefully I can get the good camera working at some point during streams, because, you know, it would be nice to have a longer focal range. So just clipped over the red, but I'm not too worried about that because I've got to touch up the red anyway. Let's not dip paint in my cup of tea. That would be terrible. And not the first time I've done it either. So last on stream I had the model that I was using. Turn the volume down a little bit. I think I'm blowing out the volume a tad, so hopefully that's better. What I'm going to try and do is get a bit of coverage on this guy. I've got paints in front of me. I might have to run away and get some brighter coloured paints, but I've got them here. I've noticed my microphone is reacting to noise, so I wonder if I'm using the right microphone. That is strange. Okay, let me just double check a couple of things. Like that. Make sure microphone is the correct microphone, and we do have noise removal on it. So yeah, that's the best I can do, I'm afraid. We've got the paint all lovely, and oh, look at that. See, paint shakers, worth it. So this is a brighter red than I was using last time. Again, this is to try and lift the colour a little bit compared to what I was attempting to do in our last stream. And I can see already that I've missed bits of leather on here, all details that I couldn't see before. So yeah, we shall hopefully get better cover. I missed all down the neck there. I don't know if you guys can see that. You probably can see it better than I can. Yeah, it's terrible. So we go into there. I don't know if you can see how small this is. This is my little finger. It's a tiny sliver that I'm trying to get in here. This is part of the reason why it's nice to paint. Heads detached. But we'll slap on some colour. We go over some of the leather. To go over that again because it's the leather looks like it was quite a sloppy job for me last week. Paint isn't very thin. Let's just give it a bit more water. That's better. Yes, this is typical artist palette. Back of my fingernail. So it looks like the stripe down here should be quite a thick one. Like there showing. Of course, this is a different red to what we were using before. Not too worried about getting every crease. We are going to use a fade. It should blend those two colours in nicely. And there's only, a couple of shades different between them. It's not a huge difference. Would help us just a tad to distinguish the difference between leather and its top. Luckily, my D&D session has been delayed, so yeah, I'm not going to end up having to prance around with a half-painted mini if I don't get this done tonight. That would be a travesty. Bit of black there. See, clipped it with another colour, which is interesting because I thought I only used black on the hair. And coverage on that is terrible. So just you can see there's a leather bit down the middle of his back that I should have painted, and I didn't paint. So yeah, lots of missed bits. No, these aren't happy accidents. This was missed opportunities. Yeah. We can sort that out. Hopefully get closer to what we want from this mod. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Okay. Nice. So need to dig out a brown now. Oh, Shazer. Did exactly what I said not to do. Apologies for the language. I've just gone and dipped some paint in my tea. Luckily, only a small amount, so still tastes like tea. Oh dear. Knew it was a risk. There we go. Let's go and get myself some roll. Tea might taste like paint. Okay. I got myself some blue roll to wash out the brushes. Looking for a decent brown. I did have whole reds up there. That seems to have gone for a walk. Literally was in front of me. I don't know what I've done with it. Taste of paint. Okay, so that's copper. I don't want copper. What's in my big bag? Whole red. That's what I want. Oh, and now I found the saddle brown. What the hell's saddle brown looks like whole red? What's the difference? Really subtle. Okay. Got black here. We don't want black really. So I've got a black out. No, don't really want that. I've got the whole red, which is probably going to be used on the trousers. I'm just looking to see what else I have here. I have bronze. Don't really want a metallic. Not just yet. Ooh, brass. Seem to have a collection of nice metallics there. This is flat brown. Again, I want a bit more of a difference between the leather and the what's this? Mahogany. Mahogany was good for wood. There we go. Cavalry brown. That's what I was using for the leather last time around. That's what I was trying to dig out. So that's a quite a reddish brown. Compare that to the other two we have here. So that's going to be the leather, and then the trousers are going to be in hull, maybe with a touch of black. And then I'm going to try not to get more paint into my tea, because that will be disgusting. Believe me, it is not tasty. We've got blackout, so that's going to be the hair. In fact, I might do that first, and then we'll move on to the leather and the trousers and the boots. I'm going to do the wood after that. Sorry for a late stream today. I was doing some sim racing, and I had to set a lap time, which I hadn't yet done. Practice. Do some wispy bits in the black. I might go back over his chin a little bit later. Let's get it back on screen. But yeah, just trying to get some wispy bits in here, and what I'll probably do is go back over the green just to help blend in his beard a bit. And you can see on here where I'd missed a few strands of hair. So I was doing this practically blind last time round. Cool. There we go. And before I move off of black, let's do some eyebrows. So I want to get a slightly wetter brush, slightly thinner paint to help with flow. And then I'm going to try and edge highlight his eyebrow. I've done a really bad job of that. This is why we can fix this, don't worry. That's a better one. And the other one is huge and thick and makes him look even more critical. We will fix that. Terrible job. Cool. I seem to have inherited a baby. Go away, baby. Go away, baby. Yeah, no painting for you just yet. Thank you. Babies and paint, probably not a good combination. I'm going to get some cold whites for the eyes. And fangs, I want a bone white for the fangs, really. But do I have a bone white? It's literally silver grey. Ivory. Yeah, let's do that. Shake those up. Might as well do the messy jobs first, because these are the ones I'm likely to mess up and I need to dry. Oh, look at how runny that paint is. That's disgusting. Let's see if I can get it better. Apologies for the very loud paint shaker. Let's see if that's a better looking paint. Still looks ridiculous. Okay. I need to get myself a better paint shaker. That's what I took from that. So that was ivory. Ivory was wet, watery, and disgusting looking. This is the cold white for his eyes. This is looking a tad better, thankfully. Oh, that came out rather fast. Okay. It's fine, it's fine. Okay, so I shouldn't need those again. Not tonight. But let's do... Where's ivory? Ivory is so weak and yucky, it's kind of annoying me already. Okay, let's... I don't even think I need to... That was so thin already. It'd go on okay then. Right, let's have a look. So he has these fangs that are so small. Blob of paint. I'm not even sure this would be perceptible when I've got shades on, but hey. You can see them now. So I thought I should paint them. And this guy looks like a right kit, especially with his scouse brow. So Luke, let's see if we can completely mess up the eyes. What's that? This is drier. So I'm going to add a bit more fluid to this. So what I want to do is when I drop a drop of paint, I want it to show. So now, steady as she goes. Try to keep it on camera. Oh. Easier said than done when I want to actually see the model too. Hopefully you guys can see it and I can see it. So a bit of tidy up needed, but not too bad. This one is less well defined on the model. So it's almost like we want to see we've gone slightly above what we need for that eye. And for this eye, I think it's going to be hard to get in there without making a mess. I think I just put some paint on the end of the wood. I've gone in there, I've gone big and heavy on that side, that's fine. We're going to go back over on his skin tone. Looks a bit ghostly at the minute. I will add some pupils. I will do that once we've got some actual colour on this chap. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the cavalry brown of his leather. Okay. And we shall, as the belt buckle doesn't that will change colour anyway. And we'll paint it in a metallic. Just take a bit of the paint off. Got a wee bit too much on there. A little bit over the lines there. Forgiven for that one. Really? Keep inheriting a baby. Great for concentration. So we're slowly working around the model, just painting in the leather details. Hopefully covering it a little better than we did last time around. Which is to say I made a right royal mess of it last time. To be fair though, I was having to paint a country mile away from where I could see, and that was never going to work for trying to cover all this detail. This is fantastic detail. I really do like Hero Forge. The models print well. They look fantastic. Lots of detail. I don't know if any of you guys were watching the previous stream, but on that one said that I printed this on my Saturn 2. I now have a Saturn 4. I won't be printing it again unless something disastrous happens. I can really see, and you guys probably can too, like on the shoulders where the layer, the layers are actually created, so the actual layers are visible on this model. That's okay. They would be, I think, even on the Saturn 4. It's not a huge uplift in detail. I've got a thing here where I've completely missed there. I believe this is the same colour I used before. So if we miss bits now, that's okay. We can live with that. Because what we're trying to do now is just get a very quick and dirty base coat on so we can paint it with some shades and then start trying to highlight it. Because I've taken far too long with these base colours. This happens with me because I didn't do a good job last week, so I end up having to do it all over again. Good thing about doing it with a magnifier is I can actually see what I'm doing now. It's great. Really don't care if people think I'm cheating. Painting little miniatures. It's not easy. I have some nice big dice tangles I'm going to be painting on stream soon. Forward to that. I've also got to try and made a mess of that. I've also got to try and get some time to start painting up Cthulhu Wars for Halloween. Should be a lot of fun. These miniatures stretch the definition of the word miniature. They are pretty big. But then I suppose it is a great old one, which would be colossal. Lovely minis. Let's see if I can touch that edge. Not enough paint, it's dry now. This is the problem when you have tiny little brushes. Paint dries out before you can actually do what you need to do with it. I can see shaky hands as well. They are super not useful. So I think we've got just some tiny bits left to do, like front of the. That's going to be metal anyway, right? Did I just forget to do those? I did. What's going on with this brush? Why am I not getting any coverage now? It was raining so hard earlier, I was going to have to cancel the stream. It's hard to hear anything. I should get some music on the stream next time. What do you guys think? Bit of music? Help the painting time go faster? Not that I need it to go faster right now. I need it to slow down so I can actually get some painting done. Some of these paints are just so glossy. It seems to affect how painted is on top of the other paints. Should really do. Being lazy because I don't want to get the airbrush out, but I should seal in the layers before I move on. I might do that after I've done the shade coat, just because I don't want this mini to break up too much. Okay. Yeah. Paint in the lines, David. Okay. That done. That would do, I think. Don't want to see any white spots if we can help it. They will make it look crap. Looks good, looks good. Bit of red on there. Doesn't look good. Neither does the silver shining through that. Well then. Okay. So we've got a darker brown to go and hairband, a couple of bits, shoulder pads, gold bullion, sack of gold. Yeah, cool. So I want to get down one of my. I'm going to get down a noise wood paint in a minute to sort the wood out. But before I do that, I'm going to go back over the skin because the skin is making me sad. That's actually already starting to dry out, so let's give it a bit of moisture, revive it a tad. Let's clean off the brush. See what we have here. Hopefully it's still green. It's green to me. Maybe a bit still too dry. Okay. So we know we messed up a little bit on the eye. It's a little better. The other eye, we went over his teeth. So we can just cut that off. And that's looking good. Cool. Now we have to just go over the joyous bits of his eyebrows. Because I've given him the super thick eyebrows. Better, I think. I do have perhaps a better brush for this. Bigger brush that has a finer point, which is what you're looking for really when it comes to trying to get into something like that. I have like tiny brushes, but if we have a look at the point on this, we can perhaps get a little finer detail than with the point of this. You can see this one's got a bit of a hook on it these days, so it's not always the best brush for painting detail, despite being one of my small brushes. So we've got a bit of a problem with paint drying out still. So let's get some moisture on, get rid of some of that, and see what we can do with this paint. I have a brogue hair, which needed to go. Brogue hair is in a hair I didn't want, not something that my character left behind. Ugh, split. I just roll the brush and it comes back together, but that looks like I've done all I needed to do to bring his eye back to where it should be. Upright. I'm okay with that. With the beard we were talking about, just wisping some of that in. So it's less concrete than currently is. Behind here. Mr. Beard Green. Yeah. Starting to look dangerous. So now I'm going to get out whole red. Actually, now I'm going flat brown. Flat browns are just slightly darker brown than whole red. Which might give us a bit more contrast from the colours that we've used here. Lots of browns and reds. It doesn't really give us a great variety. Use a tiny bit of paint. I'll probably have to get some more of that. And a bit of water, which is green, because why not? Okay. It's flowing nicely. And let's do trousers. Trousers and boots. Hopefully flat brown is a little less glossy than what I used before, because that stuff was awful. Tiny bit of sandy coloured stuff in that. Tiny bit there. Ooh. Why can I get this brush in? Yeah, that works. Okay, let's go over the metallics again. Now I don't have metallics on me, so I'm going to have to go and grab those. And I think I need the colour for the sandy bag. Right, so I definitely brought the paint down for the gold. So I have that. I do have a silver. Kind of want a darker silver, really. That's bronze, so that's no good. What do we have here? Old gold. Old gold is cool. I like old gold. Here's just black. This is black glaze. Grey green. I have lots and lots of. Oh, what's this? Gunmetal. Gunmetal? No, let's not do gunmetal. Okay, so I've got my gold. Don't seem to have a colour for. Oh, this is it. Sand brown then. That'll do. Well, maybe. See if I've got something a bit lighter. The green. Too many colours will delay your painting, or something like that. Oh, it's starting to rain heavily again. Probably to drown out my singing. Noise cancellation wireless. Okay, so we've got this colour, which I'm going to use for the bag of gold. And then I'm going to get some of my specialty paints for painting cool stuff. So I need to get silver down. And we also have, what's this? We also have to deal with gold and wood. Don't forget the wood. Plenty of it to paint. The whole base, in fact. I did prime this mini up front, but it's quite a long time ago. So I wonder if that has a bearing on how well some of these acrylics have adhered to the resin. Normally resin you can paint over, no problems. Below there, a little bit there. Yeah, it should be rocking a freshly painted bag of gold. Cool. So I'm going to be Q-tipped, whilst you admire the bold head of my model. And see if I can keep the brush in one place at any one time. I'll just put them down like that for a sec so you can see where we are. Yeah, work to do, but it's starting to look like a model. Seem to have gone the wrong paints. That's a good start. So I've got 2 pots of Necron. Don't need Necron yet, but I do have Agrax, I have Null Oil. Those are definitely going to be used. I'm thinking using this as part of the wood shade, which will make it a little less interesting temporarily, but should work out afterwards. So going dark wood, and then I'm going to dry brush that very dark wood after we shade wash it, and that should give us a lovely colour, hopefully. Or it mess it up horribly and we just repaint it, it's fine. So this currently looks quite nice where it's sat, but I'm going to make it all flat. Reasons. It's mostly because I can't consistently clean that up if something goes wrong. Whereas if I've got a known colour, I can. Go away, little baby. My daughter loves coming in and trying to eat the paint or switch off the computer or something else that would be slightly irritating. Interestingly, this didn't print perfectly, so the base is slightly warped. That's okay. If you don't mind that. There's a bit of a rock on it. See, you can still see some of that wooden texture detail. And so we're going to dry brush that a little. And when we do so, that'll bring down that detail again. We've lost a little bit. I covered that up when I was painting. You can see a little bit of detail still there, not as much as we had before. That is always going to happen when we get back over. Cool. Now I've got to go run away again because look what I've done to my silicon mat. Christened with a beautiful brown shade. I didn't bring the metallic I wanted down, but before we do that, I suppose I could do the gold. Gold is good. I don't have to screw it. I'm going to use whatever metallics I've got here. I do have gunmetal. Gunmetal might be a good fit. Might be too dark. That's gunmetal, right? That's black glaze. That's black. Black. I've got silver. And that's sea grey. I'm sure I have colours. Colours. I have colours. Metal medium, which is cool. Don't know what I would use that for. I guess thinning the metal. Go away, you. You are not a metal. You are, and that's silver. So I could go silver. It's a bit brighter than I was using before. I do prefer how dark we have our special lead belcher. Lead belcher is one of my favourite metallics, to be honest. I think my daughter's been in here because I've got metallics all over the floor. They weren't on the floor before. So we've got silver. I'm going to take said silver. Hope that it's well mixed and silvery. Seems to be. And then just go over. It's a lot brighter than lead belcher was. brighter, thinner, not better. I do have to go over a few of my wooden props. Do those shortly. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that colour. I think I am going to just dig out the lead belcher because this is so thin that I can't cover over the other details of it. So where I've got a red there, the silver won't cover it. So let me go very, very quickly to see if I can find a lead belcher. First thing is I picked up them. Huzzah! Right. What are we doing? Anyway, right. Tax. Terrible painting by Tackles. Anyway, got some lead belcher now. Now we're cooking with gas. I'm going to actually use some of the silver to thin it because lead belcher is rather thick and gloopy. Actually, that works to our advantage sometimes because now we have a colour. Should have no problem covering our earlier happy little accidents. If one is that, and he's got his pad under here that I can barely see at the best of times. And then we've got the knee pads that I forgot to do last time. And then with a slightly thicker paint, got some cool little details to do. So we have the little buckle here. It's not liking. Let's see how that transfers. Is that too thick? Maybe a little less thick. Little buckles. That. Satchel. Another satchel. Why did I miss that? Anyway, okay, fine. The bits to paint. There's another thing. We got another one here. Cool. We have these clasp things. It's boots. On the other side. It's not too bad. I mean, there are bits and pieces. And of course, we've got the actual belt buckle, which I'm probably going to need some more paint for. Okay. Oh. Right. So, you can see that I've missed some details in the red. But Mr. Red here has dried out. So, we are going to have to get some more of this red going. I don't think we're too bad here. There's a little bit here around the brown. A little bit of brown that should be there. And on this side, around the bottom of his thing, there we go. There's some brown that we've missed here. So there's a little bit of touch up we've got to do. So I need to get the brown out again, which I know is cavalry brown. Again, that's probably dried out, so let's just get another blob of cavalry brown. Why go so crazy with the details? A single mini. I can. We can afford the time. Otherwise, I probably would be a bit lighter on detail. So, looks okay there. These aren't too bad, at least not on the lever. But I remember I missed the whole. Goes down. I made a terrible job of that, but that's why we have the red ready to go. And then in here, cool. Now I need to get the boot brown and the red. We've got the red already, but we need for the cavalry brown to dry out a little. So while we're waiting for that, oh, flat brown has started leaking yellow. Yellow last time I looked was not a good colour to use for boots. So we've got this. Make sure we don't leak our boot material everywhere. Nice. Both sides. It tidies up our clasps a little bit. Because I definitely a bit of a boo-boo in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. But yeah, just wanted to. If I can see it, I tried to tidy it up. Because you can guarantee if you can see it, other people can see it. And yeah, there are going to be plenty of details that you don't see that need tidying up too. So you might as well just tidy up the ones you can see. So I'm going to go for this really light brown now to use for his hairband. I can actually get that in there. Brush. Do got too much paint on there. It's just leaked into the black. Rather that way than the green. No, just come off camera, you can see that. That's right. Don't mind it leaking onto the black, which I've done here, but I don't want it leaking the other direction. I was going to use the same brown then for the windings on the bow. So we have these. Almost an off-white. Be using for that. Bit of earth shade on there. Should look good. What are you doing? Stupid hands. There's that tiny little bit you can see. The problem to get to. I think I've covered it. A bit of a mess inside there, but we can deal with that later. That's okay. After all, the bow colour hasn't yet been defined. Cool. There we go. Some less happy accidents in that. I'm going to go back to the red now because that brown should have dried nicely. And the red is still wet, just about. And I can start going in and checking the tiniest of, cover that little bit there, cover that bit there where you went over the brown. It's just those little pieces of detail, you know, that don't really matter that much anymore. It's a lot less easy to see than some of the other splurges of colour I had. So I know here I had a bit of a problem with coverage, as in I spilled over the lines massively. Okay. We use the black, which is still kind of workable. Let's give it a bit of moisture to give it a bit more playtime. I could use some of the mediums I've got to try and revive these paints, or rather just keep them alive longer. Not going to. Okay. Okay. Oh yes. Did see a little bit of the brown that I wanted to touch up here. So got silver on there at some point. Showing through. I've got a bit of a bleed on the back. And I wanted to just go over these clasps a little bit just to tidy them. It's like a very minute touch. Too much, you cover up the detail you've just added. Too little, and you've got the bleed. I think that's probably a nice balance there. Cool. I did notice there was a tiny bit at the top here where there was red showing through on the leather. A tiny bit of brown on his beard as well. I just literally added that on. That's ugly. Arm looks neglected. Why is that arm neglected? Looks like I've splurged everything on that. Not over cleaning it up. Happens. Always miss detail. That's why if I see detail and I know I've covered it, I will try and clean it up. Just because I know there will be a few areas where I've missed it. Later on, I'm never going to go back to painting this model again. Once it's done, it's done. I don't see the point in revisiting old ground. Not when I've already got a few hundred minis to paint. Kind of bled into the green. Yeah. Some irritating parts on this mini. They just don't seem to want to cover. I can see down in the depths here. It's a tiny bit. That's it. Done. Pretty sure my green is dead. Yeah, my green is dead. So, before I start shade work, just do that with a tiny bit of green. And yes, I'm aware it's 11 o'clock. And a tiny bit of this green. And then we can unleash the talent in a can. Then I'll be ready to... Oh, I've still got gold to do, haven't I? Yeah. So, jobs never end. It's never ends. Never ends. It is an endless job. So, okay. Okie dokie. So I've got to get wood. I reckon sand brown will do me for that. Might even be able to use the sand brown that I got out to do the bag earlier. Needs a bit of water to revive it, but it's looking like it might be pliable. Then we can use that to paint the wooden bow. The end of that is still white. So I think Frothy is actually going to get some use soon. Starting a DnD campaign. Yay. He's been waiting for adventure for a while. Okay, and then I'm going to do the gold, wait a couple of mins, and brown wash, brown wash, I think. All those reds, maybe a black wash on his face. Yeah, talent in a can. Got to get it from somewhere. Ain't coming from my brush. Right. Enough self-deprecation. Let's get some painting done. Okay, so gold coins. Look, gold. Very good. And then here, notice the inside of these hadn't been painted, so try and get the brush in there. just so it's not visible because it's quite obvious. At least with the magnifier on, it's obvious. Cool. Done-ish. Saddle brown. Brown sand. Which one did I just use? Oh, saddle brown's darker brown. Okay. I think it was that one. And just the brown that I used on the wood has dried up, and I've just gone over the gold and made a mess of it. So just taking a bit of that, going over the wood. This is part of the reason why I wanted to change that wood, so I knew what colours I could use to mask mistakes. Talking of mistakes, I still see in the black a white patch here. That should cover us. We're good. Give him a couple of minutes to dry and get a nice big brush. A few sizes larger. And this brush is going to be delivering some null oil. Great stuff. If you have the ability, I would advise that you print something that stops this thing from falling over, because when you lose null oil, it is a glorious pain in the backside. There we go. Microphone wasn't even facing the right way. Good start. Yeah, so we shall try not to make a mess and hope our paint is dry. We have to give it a couple of seconds to dry. So I was only going to do the facial features with null oil. So face, hands, swords, probably it. And then with brown one, and see if I need to do all black wash. Luckily, this doesn't need a huge amount of shaking. We also don't need a huge amount on our brush. It's probably too much. Because after all, his head is smaller than my brush. So what I'm going to do is we get in to this guy, see how much I've got on here, and just go over his details. Don't mind it pooling for a minute, but I will use another brush in a sec to go and take that back off. You can see it didn't need anywhere near what we have on our brush here. It's far too much, but that's good. Get it covered, get him covered, and then we shall start taking off. So just dry out my brush, start lifting this off. So we don't want the forehead to have too much shade. We don't want it to pool in the eyes too much, nor too much in here. You do want that to all be so bright. Pulling it away from the highlighted areas. Fairly happy with the way that's pulling. A little bit less on here. How many stray hairs on this freaking thing? Call that a brush? Was that travesty? Right. So I'm kind of happy with that. I think might want to go back over his skin a little bit and the highlight areas. You know, just picking out his nose or whatever. He's a white nose at the minute, but we can sort it out. Cool. So I think I'm going to brown wash the rest. Just to kind of grime him up a bit. Can't even see if I got it. There we go. Definitely got it this time. Always close up the lids on the brown. Any shade, in fact, just because it's so easy. So I'm going to start from the top and work down. Let gravity do some of the work here. So we're just bringing it down under the arms, on the sword, in the hands. Just trying to get it all over. Working down. Missed a bit on the arm there. Gonna have to cover that at some point. So we're just trying to trace this brown wash into the creases, which we've done, but not excessively so. I still think that's rather excessive on there. So we get it across his arms, his armour, his chest and his back. And into his lower back there. Already see the detail coming out. So now we're going to do legs. Same as what we did on the body. Start at the top, work our way down. What we're trying to do is pop the detail after all. Not trying to drown him in shade. I'm starting to look better. Find a bit of darkening of the gold because I'm going to be working on that later to brighten it back up again. And of course the pot of gold needs to be darkened. Heat up the back. Cool. And then we just need to do the platform that he's on. Quite a heavy wash on this because we want it in the crevices. Now we have the dubious pleasure of watching paint dry. So I think we're in a good spot now just to highlight some details, do some dry brushing, some fancy stuff. This brush here is technically a dry brush. I need to go and get some cool stuff. So I've got a dry brush here. This is from one of the Kickstarter campaigns I backed. Got fancier dry brushes too, like the Artus Opus series. You don't have to go that fancy, honestly. These brushes are great, but then so are these brushes. And they're like makeup brushes, effectively. So I'm going to be right back. I just need to go and get some of my dry brushing paraphernalia. Now, I didn't realise I already have my texture palette here. That was part of what I was looking for. The other thing I was looking for was this. The little sponge. Moist sponge. So, what I'm hoping to do with this is to, first of all, I'm going to try and bring out, with the help of some Necron compound, some of the lovely little shoulder pads. This stuff is terrible. Can make it less chalky with a very small amount of water. See if we can do this guy some justice. little bit more. Tiny sliver of moisture. Ooh. Okay. So that's the metal shoulder pads done. Let's clean the brush off. Normally wouldn't add that much moisture to the brush in between, but I didn't really want a metallic to be kind of part of that. So wood grains. I need kind of like this sandy brown wood, I think, and just really going with that for a dry brush. So a little bit of moisture, a little bit of paint onto our texture palette. Let's get most of that paint off. See how bad this is. Yeah, slightly bigger brush for that. You always should go for the biggest brush you can get away with, really. Just lost one of my brushes on the floor. That is always useful. Now I think it's some layer work because I can't really do what I want to do with dry brushing for the rest of it. Maybe with the metals. I could probably do the metals, to be fair. Let's get the small dry brush again and get some metallic on the brush. Need a huge amount of gold. Getting that. Okay. So now, I'm essentially doing a lot of what we did earlier, but in a smaller scale. So I'm going to get out the big guns, or rather the really small ones. I'm going to go, first of all, with the facial details. So again, we're going intermediate green and lime green. And then just doing the bits that would normally be highlights. So let's have a look. So we're going to do tip of his ears. Doing top of his ears, right? Nose. His cheeks. And then its forehead. Okay. I'm just going to blend those a little bit. Excess water off. All of that excess water. Actually, some of the colour off as well. There we go. Because we don't want to end up with flooding his whole head in this colour. Trying to make sure that the blend between the colours is not quite as stark as it currently looks. These need to be done. Cool. I think I'm happy with that. Just so you can see what it looks like at the minute. There we go. Now going into the... Don't think I need to do any red. Maybe a little. Maybe a little. This is going to be sparing. No, pretty much just saying. Grease lines. Top of the grease lines. Where they've been stained with the shade, we're just trying to bring them back up a little bit. Just a touch. Nothing too exotic. Don't want to ruin the good job that our Pale Skeleton bottle has given us. And then there was a bit of arm here that hadn't been painted at all. So we're just going to slightly put a bit of red in there. That's mostly because I missed it. And I've got a bit of red there. Battle damage, or is that... I've literally just put that on, haven't I? Apparently that was there a while back. So, yeah, I'm going to have to fix that a little. Oh, that's part of the fun. Make sure that's darker, because honestly, I don't brighten up the hand too much. It's still too bright. Do we have any more medium? That's leaked as well, because you've got too much paint on the brush. And now you've got not enough brush in your hand. It's on the floor. And now the floor is green. Okay. So I need the wood colour that I had, which is somewhat similar to sand brown. So let's give that a go. And we're just going to go into here. Just dab across. That was only really to make sure that we had that covered. The upper. Bit of a leaf. Cool. Now I just got to do those leather straps. Eyes wise, I think I'm just going to give this guy a once over with something funky like a little marker pen. I do have an acrylic marker that I usually use for the eyes. Might be cheating, but I don't care. Eyes are hard. So we used Cavalry Brown. We know that Cavalry Brown should be brighter than the brown that we currently have for that. Do we want to go a shade lighter? How about we take a little bit of the red and a little bit of the brown. This nice white intermediate now. That we're going to just paint onto the edges of the leather. I'm trying to adjust it so it's in view, whilst also paintable. Has been quite quiet today. Is it something I said? Not perfect, but he's mine. Yeah. Apart from the eyes, I'm going to call this chap done, I think. See if I can sort the eyes out. Okay. What is his golden angle? Probably something like that. Right. Let's have a look. Let's get some eyes in there. Where should his eyes be pointing? Vrofu is looking at us from this angle. So we want one dot there. That even going on. It's going on, but it needs to go on a bit thicker. And the other one. My pencil dried out. Okay, looks like painted it is. Yeah, been using these micron ones. Bit easier than, but you can see it's freaking dry. For waterproof and blah, 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 blah lines. But yeah, all moot because it's dried out. So instead, I'm going to take a small brush with a little bit of water and pray that I don't screw it up. Almost looks like he has cat-like eyes at the minute. But I can probably just use a little bit of white to... where is the white? Just to tidy that up a tad. So yeah, I think it's good to have shortcuts to painting eyes because they are difficult. But you need to be able to do it the other way too. Need to have a contingency. And then I need to go dark green underneath his eye just to get rid of that bright white spot that I've just added. Nice. Eyes are there. Not perfect, but they're there. Cool. I'm going to call them at that. And then I'm going to prime him up for some protective layers just before I take him to work. But yeah, thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for watching me paint our Vrofu here. Yeah, not the perfect mini, but it's reasonable. I mean, it looks okay on camera, which means it looks pretty damn good on the table. It's not going to be award-winning quality, but it's decent. Cool. So I hope you've enjoyed the stream, and I shall see you for painting hopefully next week.